Good morning, Internet. This is the Old Fat Dad, and welcome back to another beautiful day on the Goober Nation gun range. Well, deer season is over, and per tradition, I'm going to take a look at a couple of the calibers that I see in the woods and do a ballistic test of them. So let me introduce you to the Dirty 30s. Let's go to the table and check them out. Like I mentioned before, these are the 30 caliber rounds I see most of the hunters in my area using. Now, I have two emissions that I'm sure you guys are going to pick up on and say that I should have checked out. That's the 30-06 and the 300 Win Mag. Those are both powerful rounds that I do see sometimes, but in these woods here that are so close and in such mountainous, hilly territory, they really don't have a chance to really stretch their legs and work to their full potential. The three I chose, I think, are kind of like the perfect fit, the Goldilocks calibers for hunting in the mountains. First up, the oldest rifle is 70 years old, and this caliber is much older. We've got the classic 30-30. We're going to be using a 150 grain soft point bullet there. It's a pretty classic load for the old 30-30. Next up, in order of age, is our good old 308. And this is a modern rifle, very new. But the caliber, of course, comes from around that, I guess it was post-World War II era. And I'm using a little bit of a modern round here. This is what I hunted with this year. And I did get 3 deer. This is the Norma Bond Strike. It's kind of a heavy for caliber round. 180 grains. Spoiler alert, wasn't super happy with how it did on the deer, but for continuity's sake, we're going to continue using it here in our testing, see how it does. And finally, the newest caliber, and by far the handiest of the bunch. Again, a Ruger American modern rifle, modern caliber. This is the 300 Blackout round. And here she is. It is 125 grains, and it is the lightest of the three. And here they are, all next to each other. Oh, if I can get them, they're rolling all over the place today. You can kind of see how they stack up to each other here. There we go. Now, if you've watched my channel in the past, you know that I love using dog food, aka small game simulator, as my ballistic medium, but for these big boys, I don't think it's appropriate. So we're going to check the trunk of the good old Malibu and see what Dirty G and the boys left over so we can make a different target for today. All right, let's see what I got in here today. While old Fatty is rummaging around in the trunk, let's run the numbers really quick on those cartridges. Yep, that's what we need right there. Ooh, yeah. Our first test today, rotten melons at 10 yards. And our testing today starts with the classic 30-30. Now, the old fat dad doesn't have the sharpest eyes in the world, so using these sights is a little bit of a trick for me sometimes. But I'm going to try my best here. Hopefully we hit what we're aiming for. Alrighty. One melon. 130-30. Wow. Wow. 30-30 worked really good. Some very solid performance out of the 30-30. Let's see if the 308 can do just as good or better. Huh. Well, you know what? I think the 30-30 did better. Let's finish up our melons with the new hotness, the 300 Blackout. Alrighty, well, we'll go review that slow-mo, but as far as melons go, I think we got a clear winner. The 30-30 really ran away with this round. And for the main event, I've got Old Fatty's version of Paul Harrell's meat target, although I'm pretty sure he'd smack me if he saw what I was doing here today. I've got a pair of Birkenstocks to simulate skin and muscle. I've got a can of sweet potatoes for our rib cage and lung tissue. And finally, I've got a can of Dijon mustard because it was in my trunk, left over from a party with Dirty G and the boys. I'm gonna set this up at 10 yards, see what our Dirty 30s can do to the deer target that I put together with trash from my trunk. All right, we're gonna start with the winner of last round, the classic 30-30. We'll see how this old girl does at 10 yards against Old Fatty's meat target. Oh, wow. 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 Okay, I did not expect that. Should have brought some paper towels. Well, let's go over the carnage. We have got just a glancing blow on our Birkenstocks. I think we can just see it just went off the edge there, but I think that's a good fair hit. We went through a good bit of leather. That was the exit, and the entry is just a tiny little hole here, and then we've got a decent sized hole out the back. Probably was expanding a little bit, but once it got to the gooey bits, man, my oh my, our can of sweet potatoes is completely gutted. Got Dijon mustard blown all over the place. It is a disgusting but slightly arousing aroma. Gotta say, 30-30 delivered. We've got one more Poodle special loaded up downrange. Got the 308 in hand here. You know, I was disappointed last time in old Bessie here, but I think maybe an Old Fatty's simulated meat target, she's gonna really show out. She's gonna show up that old granddad of a 30-30. Let's find out. Oh, wow. Yeah, it wasn't so bad. Let's see what the slow-mo says. And here are the remains of our 308 test. Let's take a look at those Birkenstocks first. Here is the entry, I believe. I'm gonna swing it in closer there. Maybe we can get a better idea of what it looks like, because it's pretty small. Just a little bit of a pinprick entry, and it gets a little bit bigger on the way out, but not significantly. And we were trending a little bit low there, so low and off to the side, so I just caught the edge on the way out there, but it looks like it chewed off a little chunk there. As for the tasty bits on the inside, hit our can, did a good bit of damage, tore it apart, sent it flying, and also the Dijon suffered probably a fatal blow. As far as how it compares to that 30-30, I still think, as of right now, 30-30 is on top, but we still have our 300 Blackout to try. Last up on our meat target test here is the brand new-ish 300 Blackout. And boy, oh boy, am I happy to be finished with this particular ballistic test, because this has got to be up there with the most disgusting combination of things I've ever shot. This even includes the 97 peanut butter and dog food debacle. This is gross. All right, 300 Blackout, 30-30's in the lead. Can we catch up here? Let's see. Not looking good. That shot just kind of skipped across that bottom corner of our target, so I'm gonna give the old 300 Blackout one more shot. I think it's worth trying, seeing if we can get a better hit here. Round 2, 300 Blackout. Okay, so I think that was indisputably a good hit, and I'm not even watching the slow-mo yet, but I'm gonna say that 300 Blackout just does not compare to our first two. Well, the tiniest of the rounds also gave us the tiniest of the results. Nothing even worth really mentioning here. Just tiny holes through the Birkenstocks on both sides. And we definitely hit our Dijon, but again, just put tiny holes. Tiny through, I can't even talk. Tiny holes through the Dijon, and again, just poked in and out of our sweet potato. Some of you might say this is a marginal hits, it's too low, but I hit low with the 308 as well, and it obliterated that can of sweet potatoes. Well, our 300 Blackout obviously did not. From our testing today, I think the correct conclusion would be that the 30-30 is our runaway winner. Are you even going to focus, you little booger? There she goes. Which should be a surprise if you were paying attention to our numbers earlier, because out of the 3 rounds, 308 is definitely the most powerful on paper. But I think this all comes back down to bullet construction. So if we take a look at them together here, we can see that we've got a little polymer tip on our 308, nice pointy round. Got that flat-nosed 30-30 with lead at the tip of it. And then we've got the same thing going on kind of with a 300 Blackout, little lead tip, followed by that copper jacket and a slightly pointier setup. But wow, our 30-30 really is set up for one thing and one thing only, which is medium game hunting. This 308 round has a couple other things going on. When they built this bullet, I think they were looking to create the most ballistically capable round they could come up with, as well as a deep penetrator, which means that you're going to give up on expansion. Whereas I think if I could actually hit anything with this 30-30, there's no doubt that it would do the job, and do the job well on medium-sized game. There's a reason why people still hunt with their 30-30s around here. Now, as far as that 300 Blackout, this is a 125 grain, and I believe it's a Sierra Pro Hunter. This is a hand load, and it's going, 2,200 feet per second. It should be able to give us some good performance, but I gotta say, I'm not impressed with this round either. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you next time.